It's been a couple weeks. Greetings, one and all, you beautiful listeners. We are back in our fantastic Mork Borg campaign, Mork Borg's Descent. And we are with our favorite group of absolute fucking scum. And once again, remember, this series is not for children, it's for adults. And in our last episode, once our party had all reached Galgenbeck, each member of the group during the travel had, well, they had a journey that they surely would not forget. They were nursing their wounds, coming to terms with what they learned about one another, especially with Polta, is when, well, Polta was the first one after a night of rest. A night of rest and trying to get their mind right. She went into Galgenbeck, and it had literally become a den of sin. Everyone had lost their collective minds. Just every form of depravity that you could think of. And this goes beyond the simple forms of lust, you bunch of perverts. So, like, literally there's a man sitting there strapped to a chair and what looked like a automated rig of fried rings of dough with powdered sugar just being put into his mouth, and he's just, more, and like two of the attendants were just, he's already eaten at least a but's worth. Damn, that's a big fat ass. And these were just some of the depravities that were being down in Galgenbeck. So, that's when Nava was the next to awake, and, well, it was our favorite lantern man. Our favorite lantern man came and explained what had been happening. A grand truth had been revealed. Everyone, the literal veil had been lifted from their mind's eye, and they were seeing the truth of what is the dying land. And if I wasn't clear in it, here's the TLDR, everyone. Normally, the dying lands is on a endless motherfucking Groundhog's Day. It is destined to always come to its destruction after a set amount of time because of a certain god who refuses to admit that he's fucking dying in the hopes that in one reset his body will finally heal. But no, Necrobell's fucking dying. Get over it. You're a bitch. No. So, and over the course of all these resets and just endless times, of course, the many mortals didn't know. Necrobell's sins leaked out, went into many different babies over the dying lands, and they became the actual sins that we know is our beloved absolute fucking scum. That's the TLDR for it, everyone. Now you know. Doo-doo. So, after learning all this, Nava's just, why? She goes into Galgenbeck. Argrex does his Argrex things and traumatizes one of our just most innocent scum ever, because at the end of the day, we all love Eggsy, but he's still just a fucking piece of shit. He's just one with a heart of bronze. So Argrex and Eggsy had a chance to get to know each other, and I believe Eggsy just noped like, just leave your body, Eggsy, just leave your body. And then finally, that's when we met over the course of all these introductions. We met our new player, learned about his trial. We learned about his sin, about how he is the true moniker of wrath. Can I have that name one more time, please, for our new player?
Nigel Straw.
Thank you. For some reason, I was about to say Nigel Thornberry. Yes, Elijah. But no, Nigel, best way to put it, he is our resident fleshsmith. He literally turned an entire continent into a population of cannibalistic flesh golems. Unless you're a flesh golem, you're gonna die. Best way to put it, I can tell you about the last expedition that went there. The pirates landed and they're just doing the whole yo ho ho, yo ho ho. Golem saw him and went, living flesh. And they reenacted the Dawn of the Dead ending from the 2004 edition to where they die. Yeah, they just swarmed the boat and ate them. And now their bones are on display in their flesh golem amusement park. I believe it's like Pirates of something, Pirates of the Sea, something like on those lines. Wouldn't you believe it? Our sneaky little GM had said, Prometheus is taking care of Reinhold and is making sure he's going to make it. Ha! No. Prometheus had his own agenda. Because Prometheus was honestly the first to become self-aware, to realize that he was a sin of Necrobell. He's been through a few of these repeats. That's why he's the way he is. And as a player so brilliantly messaged me, he went full founding motherfucking Titan. And he said Reinhold needs to become the true form of gluttony. And Reinhold, losing control over himself, just started devouring everything in sight as he battled Prometheus and Galgenbeck as it started to fall. Nava and Argrex. Well, Nava was the one who really stole the show with trying to save Reinhold. Argrex just did his Argrex thing. He just pulled an Argrex. And in the last moment, Prometheus forming the young Nia and launching it into the giant glutton beast. It's Reinhold's true form being launched out of it. And him just reaching towards his clan, reaching towards Nava, pleading. And then the Prometheo lust form landing on Yongnia and gone to the sky. And we left Nava on her knees as literally the sky had been parted. And I forgot to say, there's going to be giant ramifications from this, mind you. You inadvertently solved one of the puzzles into getting into the Valley of the Unknown Dead. I'll explain more later when you actually have a chance to encounter a PC who knows about all this. But let us now join in on those two said players right there in the center of Galgenbeck. When the energy form of the glutton beast that was Reinhold started dissipating, what it really was all those people he was shoving in his mouth and devouring had all just started been fused together into this one massive conglomeration that would have been that centaur giant bear kaiju form. But it's all just bodies fused together. People. It just slowly clumping, falling to the ground. And then Nava, let's join in on you now. Take it away.
I'm holding part of Reinhold's fall that I ripped off of him, and I'm just on my knees, grieving, losing beloved friend.
Buildings falling, crumbling by you. And then
I am aware of nothing. Nothing exists outside of my grief right now.
I was just going to say, you just notice, you're not going to hear it, you just see it. You just see Tingle fall, land, and then Argrex falls on the ground next to it. You see Argrex right there. Nava.
I see Argrex, and I start to get really pissed off. I jump to my feet, and I rush over to him, and I start wailing on him. I start punching him with everything that I can.
Tingle jumps over. He wraps around your waist. No.
Fuck!
And that's when he drops the bullshit and he goes, "Aye, little ass, calm down. Look at me. I not be that foolish bullshit. That charade that follows behind. The lad. Look at me. I am Jolly Roger.
You think I give a fuck about you?
I just want you to calm down.
No. You play as a fucking jester this whole goddamn time, and you were fucking useless this whole goddamn time. You could have helped save Rango, but you didn't. Fuck you.
Tingle wants to say something, but he has to stop. Argrex, you've just been getting wailed on. You wake up to just Nava just pummeling you. Just Nava's fists just raining on you. And then you see the beloved Tingle just wrenching Nava away from you, and you see him just trying to talk to Nava. You've never seen him taking this tone before. You're sure it's just some bullshit. What do?
I'm still trapped in the moment that I just lost my friend, because my entire journey here, I've been in my own way, I've been trying to be a hero, and I've come to realize that the noble intentions of House von Brunk, these sons of bitches, they don't deserve to be saved. And the greatest mercy I can do is put them out of their damn misery and go fucking nuclear wasteland and start anew here. But because I still have a smidge of compassion left in my already drunken heart, I'm just going to let Nava get it out of her system, because what's going to happen next, I need everyone to be ready for this to steal themselves away from their hurt emotions and shock, because shit's about to get real dark here. I give a thumbs up to Tingle, though, to let him know, like, I'm good, and just let her get this out of her system.
Tingle, he looks at you. No, I'm not going to respond to that because I'm not going to split because I have something really awesome planned. So, Argrex, you do feel exceptionally cold. It's disturbingly cold. And give me a DR12 presence roll, please.
Got a 3.
Nah, everything's fine. It's just your imagination.
Is it too late for me to use an omen? Because I just remember I got those.
Go ahead.
All right, Tingle, breathe on my dice. 14.
Oh. In a rare moment of actual real cohesion, of real thought, of real taking a minute just to be like, wait a minute. When you close your eyes, you feel like, you're seeing like this vast night, just landscape. And this would be like the astral plane. And the best way to describe him is the face looks like a combination of a hippo and a bear, but with gargantuan warthog tusk. But the arms are very elongated like a gorilla's. But then they have like just thick tree trunk, like short legs, but an abnormally long torso that's, once again, just... It's not just that it's well built. It's just that this is the epitome of just a thick barrel chest. And it's covered in what would be like, the best way to describe would be like a bear fur with like patches of like pig, warthog. And there's 3 of them. And then as they're like, one of them was reaching into it and it was like ripping out you see like a form of like with Reinhold. The 3 of them, they push you away. You're that much closer now, Nava, as the 3 of them are belovingly holding Reinhold, and they start screaming and crying into the sky. It's weird. He does a backwards somersault, and he lands at your feet.
So you cut out for a moment. Who did that?
You did. Because when the pigs did that, they hit you in the forehead, but to everyone else, it just looks like you do a backwards somersault.
Am I caught between, like, am I interacting with another dimension right now?
You're stuck in between.
Still in mine? Okay. Am I allowed to respond?
You're allowed to respond after Nava. Nava first, as you roll to her feet.
Sure.
I push Tingle off me. I turn around, I rip Argrex's arm off, and I start beating the shit out of him. Fuck you! You fucking overused clown bitch! Fuck you! You are so fucking useless this whole fucking goddamn time! You're a fucking one-joke clown! You're worse than a goddamn tango! Fuck you! And like, she's just... Like, her body's beefing up. She's losing control of her natural form. And she's growing bigger and more built while she's beating the shit out of Argrex. Just calling him useless with all this fucking worthless ass bullshit one punchline.
So, Nava, you more than understandable, but during this moment, granted, I'm not going to magically say because they're in a different plane than you, even though they would love to stop you. The minute they try to reach out for your hand for like that moment to have that scene of just grabbing your hand and having you dramatically stop. No, that's not good. The 3.
But I don't feel anything.
You can feel as these 3 entities.
Do they feel familiar to me?
They felt like Reinhold.
And then Nava stops while she's holding up ripped off limb.
You feel a deep sadness.
Nava finally, in the longest time, begins to break down and starts crying. She claps to her knees and she starts bawling.
Argrex,
I'm here.
I need... Shit. I feel bad for this, but I need a DR16 presence roll.
5.
So, look, it's not just indulging in your sins and all that have these chances to make your sin burst out. No, it's anything that would go against that, like, conflict against the image of what your sin is. And even if you yourself is trying to battle against it, remember, you are the sin of a god. So even if you say it doesn't bother you, who says it doesn't bother Necrobell? So, Argrex, your flesh, you can feel it burning. It feels like it's exploding. Literally every pore just feels like pores being stabbed, stretched, pulled as you start just changing. And then where the stump was from where Nava ripped your arm, it just starts to just rip and pull itself. The tendons, the nerves, they start to stretch, trying to find themselves. They know where they need to go. Nava, in your moment of losing yourself, you don't see when it happens, when Argrex's arm, literally where you ripped it from that stump, it just starts stretching from the shoulder of that ripped arm, just pulling on the ground enough until finally, the arm falls on the ground and then pulling, but then changing, morphing, until finally it finds those other nerves, those other tendons, blood, cells, black ichor starts to flow. And Argrex, what does your sin of pride form look like?
So I'm actually very happy how you described this, because this was actually how I was going to respond to everything. I was purposely going to just let the sin out. So thanks. Makes it easier. So as I grow, I start getting a bit more scaly and crazy buff. I grow a shell with spikes, just so crooked looking, growing throughout it and on my shoulders. My hair turns into a crazy spiky mohawk as I grow a ferocious beak, and oddly enough, raven wings, I become a ferocious were-turtle.
This this turtle, this were-turtle, this form literally rips from your flesh, where your back of your ribs, just you hear the snapping just as it expands, just splitting, becoming a shell. Argrex, just losing yourself in rage over your pride, being insulted, and you go to turn to Nava, and that's when. So the best way to put it, she's dressed with the gothic Lolita fashion, but this young lady, she's about a good 5'7". She looks like she'd be about 21, but with the way she's just hovering in the air on top of a blood red, like literally this is the deep red of blood umbrella, you can tell there's something very unnatural about her. And she has these gargantuan spiral blonde mixed with blood red pigtails coming off the sides of her head. And it looks like there's about a good 10 feet of hair there that just ends off by where her ankles are. And then when you go in your rage to do it,
I'm going to eat her leg.
She happily just laughs at you, and she slashes her wrist as a fountain of blood just explodes out in a spiral. Give me a DR 12 agility roll.
I forgot one other detail.
As it just starts forming into a drill.
Hot damn, 19.
Boom. Take no damage as the drill just goes and digs into the ground, and then stretching from it, it just becomes a big blood red pole as she grabs it, and it's just what's now just a spear with a really large drill tip. She puts it on her shoulder, and she goes, "And if it isn't my pompous, loudmouth ass of a motherfucking bastard fucking brother that I thought realized when we told him we wanted nothing to do with him, that it meant for him to shut the fuck up and not bring attention to himself. You ruined everything, big bro."
Argrex is not home, little sister. She just sees so in my ferocious were-turtle form, I don't have physical eyes, but it just looks like a void and dying stars where my eyes should be. See him kind of flicker slightly at acknowledging her.
It's just funny. I wish the listeners could see this, because one of my players beat me to something I was about to do, as I have to have Argrex give me let me pull up a DR14 presence roll, as she looks at you and goes, "Who the hell do you think I am?" As her wrist explodes in more blood as the drill just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as she spins it in her hand, it starts doing a drilling motion. as she launches it at you, going, "Who do you think I am?"
A naughty
So give me
little
that
girl.
14. Give me that DR14 roll.
Fuck, 6. You know what? I'll take it. I will save my omen because I feel more bullshittery about to happen.
Yeah. So as the drill gets, you're going to lose your right leg, Argrex, and this one's not coming back. So as she hits this on you, you literally feel your soul ripping and tearing from you. And,
Ooh,
and as
I've been through worse.
your sister looks at you, and you know Simone, she's not going to let this go. And this is when both wrists just erupt in a torrent of blood. And you see what looks like best way to say is this looks like a giant knight in armor. Boom! It's like a black onyx mixed with the red, solidifies, turns into what would be considered iron, picks Simone up in its palm. I'm disappointed in you, big brother. I was expecting so much more. You know, I would have let you have it. I would have let you have the kingdom and everything because I felt like that would have quelled your little piss ass poor pride.
Insulting my pride only makes me stronger.
Well, good. Well, then let me say this. I'm going to make it even hurt even more as, like, the bottom of the feet of this giant knighted figure lets off from the bottom of its feet as it starts to lift in the air. I'm going to leave you with yet another loss to your younger sister. Loser. As she does what looks like a L shape with her hand and like pulls down her right eyelid and sticks out her tongue at you. And I'm going to Dr. Steen. And
Can
then
I
next
react?
time I come back. Oh, go ahead.
So as she's monologuing, I'd like to use my powers, my
ahead.
foul summon skeletons and zombies.
Do the rolls for me.
I need to roll a d6 for this one.
Psycho
Thank you,
Pump.
Lord. I rolled a 6. Let's see.
That means 6 zombies, and now roll for the skeletons.
4.
All right, so you have 10, and they all look at you and go, "Arr!"
I look back at them, I'm like, because they're all shaped now like ferocious war turtle skeletons.
One zombie looks at you. Somehow, in its heart of hearts, it thinks it knows what it wants you to do, and it bites off its thumb and starts to blow into it. But now you might be thinking it's going to like start expanding. No, something else starts to happen. The toxic breath it blows into its thumb starts to combine with the methane gas in its gut, and this zombie is becoming a literal zombie nuke. And so the other zombies start doing backflips and tumbling, stack each other into a human ladder. And the skeletons, climb up the ladder, attaching onto each other. And the final zombie looks at you and goes, "Rrr, rrr," and runs up this giant ladder, jumps at your sister. What looks like a green mushroom cloud goes off in the sky, definitely destroying what it would have been any other building left standing just from the shockwave. And in pure horror, just what looks like the very cosmos itself erupts. And all you can see is what would have been its foot, and then its knee dropped down. And it was just shielding Simone. And it looks at you, gives you the finger, and in a massive torrent of energy, of tornado, Simone is gone. I'm not going to say what is the last thing you're doing as she's just gone, just as she's laughing at you.
I got as big of a smile on my face as I can, just knowing that I forced her to retreat for the first time ever. And next time I have the chance, I'm going to bite her head off. Come, Tingle! Or would you prefer if I call you Roger now? There's work to be done and much, much bodies to throw about.
Nava, all that went down. What did you think? How did you react? Because
she's even more pissed off now.
Because also, here's the other thing is that during that time, the massive despair and sadness, you also started to feel a familial love towards you. Like 3 separate things were happily around you.
Nava's going through so many mixed emotions. Loss for the friend, loss for the father of all puglets, She hates losing because she is the embodiment of greed. When she wants something, she claims it, whether it is in her physical possession or not. And her friendship with Reinhold was very important to her. And she feels robbed, and she sees Argrex as an embarrassment for a stunt before Reinhold disappeared. She's angry that he withheld so much power. She's more pissed off at Tango because he could have been more useful than a fucking jackass. She is going through wave after wave after wave of emotion, but at the same time, she feels the presence around her, and it's helping her stabilize just a little bit. She's not reacting physically, but it's helping her, preventing her from doing anything stupid.
Hey, Tingle hears what you said, Argrex, but he's still looking at Nava. Look, lass, you have every reason to be pissed. Now's not be the time for this. My employer here just got lucky with, 'cause I didn't think we'd be seeing that little lady anytime soon. Come, let's at least meet up with the rest of your group. I'll answer finally any question. And Argrex, don't you dare say my name 2 more times. You know what that will do, boy. Just call me Tingle. Yada-da, yada-da.
I roll my eyes. Tingle. Get me the cybernetic wear turtleneck! You got a lot of people to kill.
Tingle rolls his eye and goes, this is gonna have to work for now. He looks in the debris and grabs a table leg, and just slams it inside of your leg where it was ripped from, and you just have a plank of a table leg there for now.
Fuck, I look sexy. Oh shit.
Collective.
We still gotta wait for the chemist to show up, your wife, and that nerd from the library. I do hate to wait.
So that's when I want to go to the other 3 party now with Nigel, Polta, and Eggsy. You guys were on the outskirts of it because you were still by the church. But with this last event that happened, what you saw in the sky, thankfully you guys were all protected because Timmy wrapped his arms around, best way to make a protective shield in front of you guys. And then Big Sis also jumped in front of Timmy to also divert some of it. So you guys don't even need to do agility rolls because they just shielded the brunt of it for you guys. And thankfully they made their DR roll to pass it.
Nigel would also be there too, right? Because he was brought to us.
Yep. Nigel?
Yeah, I'm here.
She was just asking that you were there, and I was just saying, yep, you're there. It's just the explosion, everything that had happened.
And Nigel was still high off of that drink.
But what would you like to do, Polta?
Sorry. She is actually just thoroughly annoyed from everything that's been happening. She's like, why do any of them care? We're all gonna die anyway. That's the point.
Polta, your mind is just snapping even more because you just see what it looks like your body, but the head is clearly the jester head of the old dead, and they're happily just dancing in all the dead bodies. It just looks like that scene from Silent Hill of when the one chick is being killed. Yeah, that's just the old dead's just happily just going around, just goes, silly one. Silly. Don't be annoyed. You're doing a great job. Look at what just you being around here, just your association with those calamities. Look what has been caused. I'm proud to have you be my host. Keep up the good work. And so, Polta, from the dead bodies, normally the souls would look like how I described them a while ago. But here's the sad thing is that your stomach starts to growl as you start to see the soul starts to look like a meat on a bone. And the old dead grabs one and just eats it happily and they look at you and goes, well, what are you waiting for? Fill your stomach. You're hungry, aren't you? Polta, are you going to eat any souls?
No.
Say no?
Yeah.
Old dead is disappointed, but they're not going to force you. That's not the way this works. They know you'll come around to it because you can only hold off eating for so long. Do you not know? You're my reaver, little one. You'll eat soon. And the old dead just starts vacuuming in all those souls, devouring them until finally the belly is just distended. And they just hover in the sky above you. Please, go on, Polta. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, she is thoroughly pissed off now. She's kind of pacing around because one, she hates the fact that she's hungry, and sorry.
Say best way to put this is that you're basically you wouldn't be called a zombie. You'd basically be a ghoul, but you're a ghoul for soul. But please keep going. I'm loving this.
She's also just mad at how long it's been taking to find the Countess. Because obviously she's not going to do it herself.
Oh, you know, you've been patient, and, I think some misconceptions need to be cleared up, because everyone keeps calling me her or him, and I mean, yes, I did have my son Reinhold, but that's because I chose to have a uterus at that moment. And any other time, I like to look like this. Polta. Everything gets like a gray hue, and the corpses start like to pull themselves together. The skin melts away until it's just the bones. They crunch until finally they look like they become calcified, just powder, and then just looks like stone iron from that calcified pure pressure of the bones. And then sitting there with their legs like spread is the true Dr. Stein. Polta, I'm really hating to feel like I'm picking on you, but I have to say this. You feel like you're looking at Mother, especially in the face. But here's the thing, though, because with Dr. Stein's body, though, is that yes, there is a breast, but then at the same time on the left side, there's a breast, but then on the right side, there's a pectoral. The face has a feminine quality to it, but then the overall like occipital bone, that the shaping of the skull is masculine. This is a true androgyny. This is a true merger of the sexes. There is no line of where the man or the woman ends, pure merger. This is Dr. Stein. Like, even as you hear their voice, it's a mixture of the masculine and the feminine. I always it's like, did you ever wonder why they called your mom the airhead? Yeah, it was because the reason why I left is because the whole right hemisphere of her skull was empty. Kind of hard for your skull to feel the same way when what did they call it? Oh, yes. When your parasitic conjoined twin is gone. Hey, Polta, how's it going? Don't worry. This is just, only you can see me right now. Now, granted, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to touch each other, but I thought, fuck it. I'm tired of it. You notice Dr. Stein's hands, each point of where the joints meet is where a vast stitch work is for the body. Like each of the fingers, there's stitch work. This body was clearly manufactured for Dr. Stein. Oh, I remember the day me and your mother came into creation in our mother's womb. But instead of the body and the protein forming around me, your fucking mother formed around me, and I got stuck in her fucking skull. I didn't get devoured. I just got trapped by my fucking sister. I didn't even get a chance to choose. I didn't even get a chance to be anything. All I was a lump of matter. And
she's gonna respond to that. She's like, and now you know how I feel trapped in this slush. You broke my protections on my place. And I won't blame just you, because the Undertaker has just as much a part of it. Him and he.
Dr. Stein just looks at you with like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it looks like the biggest O face ever. That's the most censored way I'm going to put that, because I'm not going to say it'd just be too gross, but it's just with how just like literally Dr. Stein's eyes are rolling back in their head. And then just with how far their face is stretched. I'm so close. Polta, thank you. Everyone, it's funny as I watched all these people and everything. They always ask for these grand, omnipotent answers about why are you doing this? And I've heard it all. But just hearing your answer now, I think you'll finally understand when I say this. Do you want to know why I'm doing all this? Because I just want to. Because I want to know what it'll feel like when I drive an entire species to extinction. What will I feel like? You understand, right? You really are my niece, my daughter at the same time. It's beautiful. Come, join me. I'll be waiting.
I'm not looking for you. I do not care about you. All I care is everything becoming whole, becoming right.
Polta, you're so full of surprises. I bet even that old bitch that tried to offer me that same deal of being their host is surprised with you. I can't wait to see what you do. Because if I die to anyone, I really hope it's to either you or the rhino. Eric was a failure of an experiment. I mean, I've had many over centuries. What was another 20 years to make another rhino? But the way things gone. Hurry! Polta, everything gets its usual hue and color back. I mean, because this is the dying lands, there's only so much color that can come back to everything here.
She's gonna feel clench her hands as black sand starts pouring from them, but she squeezes it tighter, keeping herself in control. And then she's just gonna flop on Timmy, use him as a chair. Just sulk.
Oh. Timmy looks and goes, you know what? Okay, mess. We were going to suggest let's go find your friends, but it seems the one they call the Blessed Goddess. Let's follow their lead. And Timmy's looking at you, Nigel. And you're about a good 3 stories up because Timmy and Big Sis are pretty damn fucking big. Literally just one of Timmy's hands would be enough to grip a normal man's body. So but for some reason I see Polta, this is something that Polta would be, yeah, this is only right.
Carried, absolutely.
Nigel, Big Sis looks at you and drops down one of her hands for you to get in her palm, and she drops down another one for you, Eggsy.
Well, Nigel climbs on board, but he looks at Eggsy and it's like, I don't know if you're worthy enough to ride. As he points to Polta, she's kind of a queen, somewhat equal to me, so she can ride.
Master, you have spent not much time in the new continent. This is the reluctant, the ever wary, but the greatest leader of the Thieves Guild.
Oh.
Yeah, Eggsy is he is the president of the Thieves Guild.
You may ride, but in the back of Timmy.
Big Sis extends her hand over the Timmy and Eggsy, you get put on on the mass of all the tendrils. And really scary part is Timmy's able to control those individually, so he forms it into the best shape of a beanbag chair. So you kind of just form into it. I hope that's comfortable for you, sir. You're right here, Timmy.
I appreciate the best seat for the leader of the Thieves Guild. I didn't even have to steal it. I mean, borrow.
The main portion of my brain that was used, sir, it was always my dream to be part of your guild. And that's when Timmy just starts going off, all of the hands just digging into the ground. And the best way to describe how he runs, he's not running with just the palms of his hand getting in. He slams a hand down, digs his fingers into the ground, albeit concrete, dirt, whatever, and then with full force sends himself launching forward. So you guys go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 0.85 seconds. And yes, I'm going to continue this horror description because Timmy's speed is still only second to Big Sis. Because remember, as I described it, it is 3 literal, just actual human torsos and horse leg make each actual individual leg for Big Sis. So even though it looks like she's just standing and she has her hand on her dire wolf skull in a thinking position, she goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 0.0000005 seconds. Like
Nigel just clings on for the rest of it. Go ahead, that's my bad.
I was just gonna say, just when one of those hooves stomp on the ground, all the like pebbles and everything would just lift up off the ground and just. Master, would you like a cup of tea?
Of course, my stomach is in knots right now.
Big Sis is just like from inside the body, you just hear as a set of arms come out, and then another set of arms comes out holding a tea kettle and then a saucer and then a little plate, and they pour the sugar. A little smaller pterodactyl-like arms come out and they put the perfect amount of sugar cubes and they hold the saucer up for you to enjoy your tea.
Nigel takes the tea and gives it a sip.
It is the perfect temperature.
You two remind me of my butlers.
Timmy was made of all the most proud male apostles, and I of the strongest of the shield maidens.
Great. I don't know what to think of that, but great.
And to make your great, my legs, a legendary horse. I believe its name was Sleipnir, was slain to form my legs.
His sacrifice was put to good use then.
Like even more arms, like from where the shoulder would have been, it come out in like another 30 arms just explode like flowers to where one arm joint would end, the hand opens, another arm comes out. They make a little private little canopy for you of just arms, and this is just pure body horror as the arms are just forming everything for you. Yep.
Yeah. Nigel shivers at the sight, somewhat repulsed, and throws up his tea in his mouth a little bit, swallows it back down, and just keeps silent from there on.
See there is you see a lot of blood and gore, but Reinhold's body isn't there. But you do see your companions, Nava and Argrex. As Big Sis is the first one to get there, she stops, and literally that's like from where the canopy goes, it opens up, and then like the arms form stairs till you step, and that's where you just step down, Nigel. And Nava, Argrex, you see Big Sis, and you see all that.
Yeah, that's a big bitch.
Tingle foams at the mouth and just drops unconscious.
I can't even blame him.
And then that's when you see the arms, and finally Timmy comes. Two of the hands, arms stretch up. They wait for Polta and Eggsy to go into the palms, and they put them down for them to join you two. And the party is reunited.
I'm looking Big Sis up and down. Damn, it's a good thing I have a turtle show on, or I'd be looking quite auspicious right now.
She looks at you and she just goes, I would break you.
Well, you could try.
I want to smack Argrex upside the head.
You know
Please
I have
do
to.
flirting.
Can you keep
Please
your
stop.
goddamn penis in your pants for one fucking moment?
Fine. Tangle! You take care of this. I just pull down his shorts and hold him up in front of his
Oh
head.
my god.
I swear to God, I will rip your fucking other arm off.
Question: how does a turtle wear shorts?
Look,
With finesse.
Well, does he wear them on 2 legs or 4?
It kind of depends on the mood I'm in.
you know what?
The key is
gonna be
having
fair.
stretchy clothes.
I was going to be fair because I was going to be like, Argrex, roll for it, but we're not going that. Argrex, thankfully, your pantaloons survived. This is like the old school Hulk transformation. You just have like for some reason, no matter what clothes you were wearing, you just have like some purple pants. The last bits of some purple pants on, okay? And
That sounds nicer than what I normally wear as this character.
so that's when within the skull of the direwolf skull, the hands that like do like a makeshift pupil, they do like the signing of rolling an eye in each of the skull sockets. And Timmy looks at you and goes, you better watch yourself, fella. You better stop hitting on my sister.
I wasn't hitting on her, I was trying to sleep with her. Anyway, we got people to kill, so no time for that.
Polta definitely not being able to read the room. She's like, where's Reinhold? And whatever chicken thing, I don't care.
I point over to where Reinhold is as I'm chewing on one of his fingers. He would have wanted it. He would have wanted us to eat him.
Nava's eyes just twitching right now. He's gone.
Do you point in the direction of where the spear Reinhold and Prometheus went off in the sky?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one of my favorite like weather formations. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it happens more in Australia down in the southern hemisphere, but it's a formation of clouds that looks like just a line of roll of like embankments. This looks like, or actually I can do a better way. The best way to put this is it literally looks, the best way to describe it, it's Noah splitting the Red Sea. That's what the sky looks like right now. And Nava, you see very far off in the distance what would be the moon for you. You see an eye. Everyone else, you see a very strange moon that when you look at it, it gives you a headache.
Fucking damn it.
And where the sky has been split in the opening of the clouds, there's just not even the normal type of lightning strikes. These lightning bolts are they're a burgundy red. But Polta, but yeah, Argrex and them, they're just pointing off in that direction.
She's mad.
Oh, shit.
I need everyone all together, and you just let them get away.
We just hear like a record breaking sound effects. Just, oh shit.
Whoa. I was the only one here trying to do something. What the hell were you?
Adversaries.
Adversaries?
Have you forgotten our entire mission?
You actually think I give a damn about the mission?
You should.
Please explain why.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are in your lowest moment, and how I'm coming into this situation just couldn't possibly be any worse.
Does anyone look down?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone that looks down, it's standing at about 3'2". It's a humanoid with a really, really, really big head, but they're covered in bandages that are kind of like in off-hue green, and they're covered in what looks like hieroglyphics and symbols that Nava, you clearly recognize as the language of the mother.
Finally, someone tinkles taller then.
Yeah, everything is just off.
Everyone give me a DR14 presence roll.
I got a 16.
20.
15.
That's
15.
11.
the only one person didn't make it. So for the one person who didn't make it, which is Nigel, you're filled with the most crushing misery. Just, you've never felt more alone. Everything you've done was a lie. Every accomplishment was for nothing. What you thought was your accomplishments? No. You're a fraud. You're just left in that crushing misery. Everyone else, as you look, you just see the wailing, screaming coming from this little mummy. And the wailing has like this waving energy. And then it all just went to Nigel and is just wrapping around him, lifting him into the air. And like he stops and like opens one eye and looks at everyone. He goes, "Oh, damn it. Looks like the jig's up. My name is Moomoo."
Moomoo?
Yes, Moomoo.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
I'm so pathetic I couldn't even become a strange citizen. My wife was horrible. And
Human failed
care.
marriage is horrible.
my great power was supposed to be crushing despair, and I was supposed to do that and prove myself to be led into the number. I couldn't even.
I don't care.
I'll pick him up, and I'm gonna crush him in my chest. Try to muffle his cries.
Stops crying for a second, just like does the eyebrows.
And that's what I thought. Then I slam him down to the ground.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, you got your freebie, damn it.
Well, so I take it the mean way she's looking for the citizens, or is that all of you that's looking for the citizens?
Reluctantly looking for them, but I need something more.
Moomoo looks at you, and if only that wrapping wasn't covering his mouth, you would just see the decrepit, decaying teeth smiling.
Whatever are you looking for?
All the pieces to a whole, and everyone's just denying me this. I'm so sick of all of you.
Moomoo knows. Oh, yes.
Go on.
No. Moomoo is very old. Moomoo knows. But
He does a little sniffle. But I'm a bad widow witch. My spells never went anywhere. So so let me guess. You want to become whole and bring an end to everything. Bring the land of the dead and the living as one?
There needs to be an end so rebirth can happen.
Yes, I know where your next piece to make you just your next step to become even stronger. You need the Ankh.
The
Yes.
honky tonk?
He looks at you and he is very offended. So he points on his bandages. So an Ankh in the God, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick for you.
It's basically a symbol of the cross with the loop.
Oh, okay.
Better known as the old dead's eyes.
Okay. I didn't know that was the name.
I'm basing the old dead on Egyptian mythology. Sorry, my bad.
I mean, I can't remember names of important things, so you're fine.
But you see, the problem is that one of the staying citizens is you'll be very interested. She's actually related to you, Miss Missy, who's calls herself holding the body of a god. The old dead's pet is the next strange citizen I would like you to take care of for me. He's called the Eater of the Dead. Do you have the balls to go to the desert? Well, do ya, punks?
She's gonna turn into a jackal form.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
She does plan to go to the desert, obviously. But she's gonna snap her jaws around his head.
You snap your jaws on his head, and that's like in a pure fear panic. A color that is beyond your comprehension goes from between the bandages, and it just unfurls, and just a mess of bandages falls down, and then two of the big eyes plop down in the bandages. He goes, "Oh, you made me all disheveled."
Then do not toy with me.
We need to go to the desert of illusions. It's past where the sea, it's past down to the south, past beyond what you all would have believed is the beginning of the ocean, of where the ocean began. I can take you there. I'll show you the path. Because my beloved, my sweetie, my queen, she's being held prisoner, being held by the Eater. She only has her cute little teddy bear to keep her company. It makes me sad. I just want my pyramid back. But yes, Moomoo is just a name Stein gave me when she made me this witch. My name is Tut. So, are you guys up for it? I'm not going to force you to do it. You have to. This is up to you guys if you want to take this part of the mission.
Tingle and I are in.
I'm in.
Go in exchange for the Ankh.
Is Nigel still suffering from the misery?
He's released you.
All right. I would like to. Obviously, Nigel was crying his eyes out using Timmy's hands and looks at this mummy and wants to crush it. He points to Big Sister. It's like no one makes me feel bad about myself. Stomp that thing.
Big sis just like a big fist just smashes down on the bundles of bandages and eyeball left there. Just smashes it a good few times. And then you just see like the outline of a flattened Moomoo / Tut there. He falls down like a flattened pancake and just poop. Please don't do that. I can't die, but I do feel it every time, and that really hurts.
Good. Do it again.
And
Nigel really just said nobody makes me feel my own emotions.
Exactly. And this is that moment when like Big Sis grabs Moomoo, holds him and with all of her force, like squeezes her fist, closing it on him. And then Moomoo opens his mouth and just goes and lets out like a rubber duck squeak. Big Sis looks and goes, "Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious." And then just keeps squeaking Moomoo the entire time. He's a literal squeaky toy. I'm keeping this.
You have a toy for bed now. Just don't squeak it too much at night when I'm trying to sleep.
My goodness. So, with this one, because this is going to be the perfect stopping point for right now, because next week's session is going to be leading into you guys going to the desert, trying to navigate the Desert of Illusions and the Grand Pyramid to save Ani. So with that one, dear listeners, that is where we are going to stop on this week's session of Mork Borg. Oh boy, I'm really worried now. I'm kind of regretting the idea of doing this desert because I don't know what to expect with this group going into the desert. But we're doing this.
Just an end note, since I decided to go a little bit more hardcore now that I've been disillusioned, I decided that I'm gonna release the gerbils. You see some gerbils fall out of my short.
I'm about to say where it is.
And that is definitely no. And thank you, listeners.
Why
Okay,
did that have the same? Why did that have the same energy as that's it? I'm summoning the spiders.
God damn it! You know what, listeners? If you're loving shenanery just like this, remember you can find us on every platform of choice for podcasts, albeit Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, Podium. Please just remember to give us a review. It helps us with the algorithm. And on Apple Podcasts, please give us 5 stars because that'll just help us even more on there, guys. And till the next one, guys, goodbye.
And for every like and share we get, Argrex gets one more gerbil.
Out.